Yes, everybody, welcome back to the XG Files. Stephen Howson and Marcus Rashford. Oh, no, sorry. It's not Marcus Rashford.
Now, normally I can see those kind of intros coming, but I didn't see that one coming.
So, Ronaldo Brown, everybody. Marcus Rashford's in the news, and for something different for a change. Have you seen this?
I've just recently heard about it, and I'm still kind of in disbelief. But then again, am I? Realistically.
So it's a Tory MP.
Tory MP.
So we should start there, really, shouldn't we? So a Tory MP's like...
So immediately you know that there's a negative.
Do you want to fill the people in on what's happened?
Well, basically, Marcus Rashford has been... What would be the right word to even call it? Because it's like...
Misidentified?
Misidentified as a 6'7", 110 kilo rugby player with a neck as wide as Steve.
Yeah, wider.
Wider than you.
Wider.
Can't believe how wide his neck is. He's a unit. He's a unit. Looks nothing like Rashford. Different hair. Literally looks nothing like him. And hasn't she gone and basically said, "Oh, I met Marcus Rashford. He's a lovely guy." Turns out it was Maro Itoje, a rugby player that couldn't look any further from Rashford than you tried. I feel like Steve looks more like Marcus Rashford than he does.
I reckon I look closer to Maro Itoje. But it's, do you know what? It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. There's no, did you not, for starters, if you just thought you met a sports person, wouldn't you have been introduced to that person rather than just go, I reckon that was Marcus Rashford. He's a black athlete.
They're all the same. They look alike. It's
what the hell?
It's like that brothers kind of thing, innit? I don't understand where the possibility of misidentifying him comes from, because I'm looking at it as, wouldn't you be briefed who you're meeting in terms of their name? You would have been introduced. It's hard not to look at it cynically in the sense of, was it slightly intentional? Because you can kind of, it's hard to prove that she's done it on purpose or there's a racial element to it. You can kind of say, how can you kind of misidentify him? You can come up with your own ideas about it, but
it's just dumb.
It's just
so wrong. Like, you didn't meet Marcus Rashford. You just didn't. Like, and she was like, oh, my mistake, I thought I did. But she probably won't. She's probably going to come out with some long-winded load of nonsense, which just sort of like doubles down on the fact that they're fucking clueless and out of touch.
Generally, well, obviously, was it one of them where she almost says it? I'm talking about the actual comment she made. She literally said...
I don't know, is it on video?
No, I'm not seeing it on videos, I'm not told, but she literally said, oh, I've met Marcus Rashford, he's a lovely guy. But she said it in a sense of, she had like a preconception of, I don't really like him, or is he really a nice guy? Because of the whole Marcus Rashford school dinners.
He's going after the government again, saying don't
against
drop
the government,
benefits.
Anti-Tory.
Yeah.
It's just...
So Alfie thinks that there's probably some sort of a dig at him. Here's the thing, he lives rent-free in Tory heads because he is in charge of the government. Because with one tweet, he makes more policy changes than the Prime Minister ever has. It's ridiculous. Anyway, sad state of affairs, but let's move on.
Yes.
Because I saw some funny tweets today. As you generally do. Twitter's a hilarious place. The first funny tweet I saw was some geezer saying how Arsenal don't buy superstars, they make them.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. Who's the last superstar you made?
I saw a lot of the quote tweets on that. Fabregas.
Didn't make him bought
Persie.
him. Didn't make him bought him.
Feyenoord, didn't it?
PSV.
On PSV.
Oh, actually, no, was he Feyenoord?
Could have been Feyenoord.
I think he was Feyenoord. Sorry, I think you were right.
They just come up with a whole lot of names. I think they said, even one of them said Alex Song.
Did he come from Barcelona?
No, he went to Barcelona.
Went to Barcelona, right. Ashley Cole might be the last legitimate superstar that they made. And he was probably a world-class player, but was he a superstar? Because being a superstar is different to just being world-class, isn't it?
Yep, it's completely different. Because some footballers, invariably, a lot of them are actually celebrities at the same time.
Like someone like Javi was world-class, but was he a superstar? You know what I mean? There's a...
Is there like a marketing kind of element to it, like a star quality, like an X Factor? Funny enough, his name begins with an X, but anyway. Random as that sounds. It's just weird saying the Aussie accent.
Oh my God.
That was so irrelevant, it didn't make any sense.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of all footballers like that. Iniesta could have been similar, because Iniesta and Xavi usually get bracketed in the same. Paul Scholes. I think he was world class. I think he had a little bit of stardom about him though.
Maybe.
But I think they were talking about Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka.
Listen, I'm glad Saka's been supported following missing the penalty for England, which makes a refreshing change. But let's not twist it into the fact that he's David Beckham, because Jesus, this kid's productivity ain't that good. I think he looks all right.
Yeah.
I think he's a good Premier League footballer, and I'll go no further than that.
I think he's had really good spells.
Yeah. Joe, I likened him to, I don't know if you saw this tweet. I said neither of them have achieved more than Tariq Lamptey has.
Tariq Lamptey was on a good trajectory though, but obviously his injury kind of
do you know what I mean? So
derailed that. But I think he's on his way back now. He had a quite bad injury, he's on his way back now.
A good player who's putting some good performances in the league. That's it. Yeah, let's not pretend otherwise.
But it's different doing that for Brighton and doing it for Arsenal. I think that's the part of it. As a youngster breaking into a Brighton squad, that doesn't have the same firepower in terms of financially to go and buy someone to replace you. They don't have to play youngsters, don't have to play academy players. I think that's where it comes from. The fact that he came in at 19, 18 till now, and he was kind of one of their better players straight away, which you could argue is in quite a terrible side. I think that would be probably an understatement because of the Arsenal team right about now.
100% fair.
So I think
100%.
He might have benefited by the fact that Arsenal's so weak and he's been able to come in and then be kind of a breath of fresh air and a shining light. Smith-Rowe though, I'm not going to lie, I feel like I do see a little bit of star quality in him. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Saka does. But I don't know whether he's what they're making him out to be.
He ain't. They've just give both of those two cats, the number 10 and the number 7. That's throwing some weight behind those two. And honestly, I'm embarrassed for him.
I think they're already upset about that, Arsenal fans.
Good.
About the fact they've given Smith-Rowe the number 10. Saying, has he earned it? What's he done? No. Because our fans are reactionary anyway, week to week. One week he might be great, the next week he's not. I don't think he was great at the last game he played, and then automatically it was like...
Yeah, but I think Saka, did he have like 1 assist or something last year? Or 1 goal?
You get all these comparisons that rivals make. I've seen...
Can't score a single goal. Or 1 assist or whatever it was.
The player that they used to argue against Greenwood for... Martinelli.
Myth.
That has to go down as one of the most sorriest comparisons ever. And it's one of them where they still hold on to it. They're blaming, I've seen it on Twitter, they're blaming Arteta.
Ads, can you remember who the Scousers were comparing with Ronaldo? Was it Pongol? It's not a good look. No. Whoever it was, it is not a good look. Oh, no.
I think they're doing
French kid. Who was he called? He played from in the Prem, but he did not, obviously, become Cristiano Ronaldo.
David Ngog.
It might be.
Remember David Ngog?
It might be. Was it Ngog?
I think so, yeah.
It's red and white cop anyway, if anyone wants to search red and white cop Ronaldo comparison. It'll probably come up on Google. Do a quick search, that's what you're doing now.
David Ngog.
Some of those early comparisons, I think Jermaine Pennant might have been someone that was like likened to Ronaldo, maybe around
Ryan Babel.
Oh my days. Yeah, Ryan Babel definitely was. And like that red and white cop, there's some like, listen, we'll see who's right. In 10 years' time, we look back on their careers and you're like, wow.
In different stratospheres.
Pongol was there as well.
It was Pongol. Pongol was at Liverpool at the same time.
Pongol was at 03 to 06. So
there's a name that I don't think it's either of those two, but it was like... Letelic, that's who it was. That is who it was. Anthony Letelic.
I don't remember.
How many career appearances did he even have? Ronaldo's won more trophies than he's got goals.
For Liverpool, he had 32 games. He scored 1 goal.
How many career goals has he ended up with?
Quick maths,
Adam. Anthony Letelic. That's it. When I get to Anthony Letelic at the end of his career, you'll soon see why he was a better signing than Ronaldo. Was it Houllier that signed him? I think that was what they was trying to say. I think it was the Houllier days.
It was because...
Wow.
Now, you know why that's true? Because I think the year before United signed Ronaldo, Liverpool were interested in Ronaldo as well.
Yeah, by all accounts, I think people knew about Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Like
he was a bit of a star at Lisbon.
He played 565 games, scored 100 goals.
He scored 100 goals. That's not a terrible career. 100 senior goals is not bad.
1 in 5.
Yeah. I mean, Ronaldo scored 1,000, but
30 of them were in the second division in France.
A 30 of them apparently was in the second division. In fact, hey, Joe, I'm not going to diss anyone that scored 100 career goals.
Do you think
that's still sick.
But do you think Ronaldo has close to how many medals and honours do you think he has in total?
We won't be 100.
It won't be 100. I know he's won well over 30 trophies.
He's won a lot.
He's won well over 30 trophies though. So you got to think about individual honours as well. It won't be 100, but
it might be because you heard some weird obscure ones like Norwegian like player of the decade or something.
Yeah, like what Portuguese player of the year.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, there's almost got to be like Ibrahimovic levels of domination for him over the last whatever with Portugal in it. It's got to be. It's got to be. Surely. But now
going back to it, I just couldn't believe the Martinelli and Greenwood comparisons. They're not. Greenwood's on a trajectory now that's scary. Anyway, everyone could see Greenwood and think he's got a ceiling that far surpasses probably any youngster that's in
Here's the thing.
the Premier League at the moment.
Arsenal haven't seen world class for so long. They don't have a fucking clue what world class looks like.
I think Aubameyang was world class for him for one season.
Here's another thing with Martinelli.
Fabregas.
So a couple of years ago, Arsenal fans must have been doing Twitter searches for Martinelli.
Yeah.
And I had a tweet about, I went to an under-17s United game, United against Lincoln, away, bit of a mooch that.
Yeah.
Like so Brandon Williams were playing. I think Brandon Williams and Ethan Laird played right back and right wing on the same side.
Yeah.
Greenwood played, and Martinelli came on as a trialist.
For Lincoln? Or for
United.
For United, yeah.
So he was at United, and I think my tweet was something along the lines of, young Brazilians just coming on for United, Gavin Martinelli, let's see how he turns out. Mm-hmm. Let's see if he's any good, something like that. And then all Arsenal fans like, ha 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 ha. But I made no predictions in this. I made it was just like, a player's coming on, see what it's about. Like, we know nothing of it.
But he's obviously not made a cut though at United, did he?
Well, here's the thing. This is why from the start, the Greenwood and Martinelli comparisons were a load of old arse. Because United had them both at the same time. I went, anyway, yeah, you kick rocks, our kid.
I don't see it in Martinelli.
I don't see anything in him.
No, but obviously, we've said we can see probably a bit in Saka. We can see something in Smith Rowe. You can't argue against that.
He scored a lot of goals in Europa League, and because at the time Greenwood was only playing Europa League, there was like, oh look, this is the same. He was never the same.
He's made his career off that Kante slip that he had against Chelsea. They still talk about that to this day.
Of course they do. They've got fuck all else to talk about.
But then they moved it along though. They moved the goalpost. They realised the Martinelli and Greenwood comparison was delusional. So they moved it to Saka and Greenwood, where initially there was probably a little bit of debate because Saka was in a really good run of form. He showed a lot of quality for him. But then
again, now he's a decent player, but for me he's another Lingard. And for people to go, oh, that's a dig. Yeah. That's because you don't understand where I rank Jesse Lingard or what I think about him as a professional.
But I think I've asked you this before, do you see the likes of Smith Rowe and Saka as their stars and young players? No, but do you see him leaving Arsenal if they continue to become like this bottom half of the table club?
No. Who's looking at Saka or Smith Rowe and going,
well, Aston Villa bid what?
Well, there you go.
Aston Villa bid, how much did they bid for Smith Rowe? 35
well, there you go. You're looking at teams that are mid-table Premier League. No one pushing for top 5, top 6. There you go.
I think Saka go to Tottenham?
Nah, I don't think so. I think he's Arsenal through and through, and he's been there since he was 7.
Everton.
What?
Everton.
What?
Leicester.
Maybe. He might go Leicester. Be a step up from Arsenal. Arsenal fans fuming in the comments.
It's true. But people have been saying for the past 6 months that Leicester's above Arsenal now as a club.
Comfortably.
And people are thinking it's like a massive statement. I don't know if it actually is.
If it is, it's only because you've not been paying attention. It's only a massive statement or a shock to you if you go, wait, what?
And it actually goes beyond the football pitch. It's kind of the way they run now as well.
Everything about their recruitment. Yeah. Leicester's recruitment shits on a lot of clubs, including our own, probably, right? But definitely shits on Arsenal's. When you look at what they're doing from a sports science point of view, from a recovery point of view, what their training ground is elite.
Yeah.
Elite. You gotta take your hat off to what they've achieved. They've took a provincial no-one club a yo-yo club, if we're being real with ourselves, and made them legitimate top 6 contenders. The next step for them, I mean, they fluked a league. You can't really fluke a league, but they did fluke a league.
All the time. I don't know if you can fluke a league.
You can't really fluke a league, but they was very fortunate circumstances and they took advantage of them.
Cool.
And it's not going to be repeated. So that's a little bit of a fluke. They deserved it.
Okay.
But it's probably not going to happen again for them. So they won the league. They won it fair and square. I don't think they can legitimately put a plan together, like a 5-year plan together that sees them win the league again. I think their 5-year plan has to be establishing themselves in the top 4.
Yep. I think it'll be difficult though for them to establish themselves. I think you've got...
No doubt. They've got to be better than one of United, Chelsea, Liverpool or City.
And City. And I don't know if they can.
Liverpool's the weaker of them 4.
Liverpool probably is the weaker of them 4, but Liverpool are still probably considerably stronger than Leicester.
Yeah, I think that's fair. How balls today if Salah goes?
But I was going to say, like, I believe Liverpool have less leeway with their squad depth, though. So I think it's one of them where what Chelsea, City and United especially have at this moment in time is they have a lot of quality and depth. Whereas there's a massive drop when you get to the bench and you get to the substitutes.
Even at Tottenham.
And they start.
Tottenham, Everton, Leicester, great 11s.
Yeah.
Poor bench, relatively.
Yeah.
And even Liverpool's bench is pretty meaty. When you've got either Firmino or Jota are on the bench every week, one of them two.
I don't rate Firmino.
Okay, but people do.
Jota's good though.
So there's obviously some people who rate him to a level.
Yeah.
So if it's Jota on the bench, it's a great option off the bench.
I think Jota's ahead of Firmino in the pecking order now.
Maybe.
I think he literally starts up front now for them.
And then the midfield's pretty strong. In fact, we need to talk about this one. So it went off with Brazil and Argentina. Fill me in exactly on what's gone on here, because I saw that there was some issues. Some of the Argentinians got deported, didn't they?
Yeah.
For not correctly quarantining. But I read that there was some madness around here, that if they didn't quarantine, they would be fined or banned by FIFA. And if they did quarantine, they would have missed the game. But if they missed the game, then they would have it was such an absolute trifle and arse cake.
I know it's been argued that it was also political at the same time.
100%. The way they come onto the pitch, because you knew which hotel they were in. If you weren't happy with their quarantine situation, you go there.
They literally waited until they was in the middle of a game and thought,
you could have even done it in the warm-up if you'd known that they was at the stadium. To do it now was very much making a statement. So what's happened now is it 15 Premier League players? Is that what it is? It's like 13, 14, 15 Premier League players are now banned this weekend, except Richarlison.
That's such an important element. They've banned everyone, but they've kind of thought, Richarlison, us, Everton, he helped us win the gold medal.
Do you reckon he's in someone's fantasy team?
Nah, but...
It's probably because he went to the Olympics, is what people are telling us. But, that's a rum distinction.
It is. It's like, you usually say you can't have one rule for one. And
clearly you can.
But apparently you can when you're... you don't want to argue with a minute. Something about South Americans are scary.
Yeah. So United lose Fred.
Yeah.
And the tweet that I saw, it made me laugh. And I think
it's quite harsh, but it is.
It's harsh, but it did make me laugh, right? And it was like, how have United managed to have a player banned and come out of it for positive circumstances? So obviously Fred is the target of the fan base at the moment. I get what he does, mate. I understand, I think, what he does and what he offers in the team.
Yeah, he runs.
And I think people see his deficiencies on the ball cloud out the judgment about what he is as a footballer. Now, obviously, we had Donny van de Beek on 5 with 5 on Monday.
Yeah. You kept that quiet, though. You never told me that.
What?
You don't tell me everything.
We had to keep this one quiet.
What, even from me?
No.
Can't trust anyone. Actually, can't trust anyone, no.
There's some belters coming up. Some real good ones coming up.
See, well, that's what I don't get. You've kind of told me about those, though.
There's another one got sorted out, was it?
Yeah.
We got pie, didn't we, this morning? Twice, actually.
Yeah, but you've told me about the ones that are possibly coming in the future. But you wouldn't tell me that you interviewed Donny van de Beek until I've seen it on YouTube like everyone else.
All right, okay. Well, whatever. I was busy.
And you think that's acceptable?
Oh, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. If you're on Mondays now, you'll see it. So...
you think that's cheeky? I think that's cheeky.
I'm not involved in this.
So... We looked at it, didn't we? And I'm debating doing a video on this. Donny van de Beek in possession stats, 96th percentile, I think it was, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Out of possession stats, 40s, 30s.
Yeah.
Pressing not good, interceptions not good, tackles not good, just not good. To be a number 6 in a team that's going to be playing probably a very high line, this United team, I imagine nowadays, you're going to need some serious wheels on you. And I think United have looked at what Fred offers, which is limited going forward. No denying this in any way, shape or form. As a footballer, in possession, Donny van de Beek 100 times out of 100 over Fred. Not one instance am I taking Fred over Donny in possession. Out of possession,
I'm going to have to spring, like...
It's not 100% to Fred either, but it might be 70-30.
This is generally... People see football as a skill game, innit?
An on-the-ball game.
Like a skill game, generally. You are much more likely, obviously, to have a career in football. This is kind of obvious, especially at a Premier League level. Off being mobile, athletic, fit, quick. You're more likely to have a career in football, having those attributes as your main attributes with only a reasonable amount of skill, or a little bit less than the other way around. You can have all the skill in the world, all the talent in the world, but if you're not those things, which is probably extremely important now in a modern game, you won't be able to perform at the top level. And I think that's what it comes down to, because how many players can you think of? I think I spoke about this with Parker actually. He told me there's a lot of people in the game today that have great careers, 500 league appearances, 600 league appearances, and they're not even that great footballers.
Right.
But they do a job in terms of they run all day, they're fit, they're physical, they're strong, and they provide a kind of something that it's not always common in a lot of players. And they'll get in a team over someone that has the technical ability on the ball, because obviously you've said it to me, and it's a common adage anyway. How often do you actually have the ball during the game?
3%.
As an individual player?
It's 3% of the game. Now, so better players have it more.
Yeah.
Better teams have it more. But ultimately, you're probably off the ball for 87 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
Your mate Isaac, left paddock, has gone to Southport in a conference.
Yeah.
Isaac, I'll comfortably tell you, is a better footballer than Wan-Bissaka in possession, on the ball.
Yes.
By a lot, I would say. Yeah. His ability with the football is streets ahead of Wan-Bissaka.
And he's productive as well, Isaac. So he's like a finisher. He's got... Basically, we're talking about a guy like... Obviously, we're saying Paddock, but literally 12 months before that, he was in League One with Peterborough. So he's not like...
No, I mean, people look at Paddock and they go, level 13. We're not... I mean, we're literally level 13, but like a lot of the players... I mean, we picked up a lad this week. Yeah. Was meant to be being signed by a League One team. Failed his medical. He's not English, so Brexit's fucking him a little bit. Yeah. They was going to send him to a conference side, but conference side is professional still. Yeah. And to be a professional, he still had to get a work permit. Yeah. Because he's not an international, even though he's been an international. He's had to then... We're forging a bit of a link up with a couple of clubs up the pyramid, which is good. And Rami probably being a major one, but we've got other clubs that we're forging links with. Yeah. The League one at the top of that is already proving fruitful for us. He came and trained with us last night. Fuck me. Like, he's not match fit. He's not played for a while. He comes like, I was a bit rusty there. And I was like, wow. The difference. Yeah. Just the time on the ball, the quality of his passes. And you go, there's levels in this. And now he wasn't a big physical guy. Similar build to you. Mm. But he ran it in that number 6 kind of position. Okay. Now I get you. But then people talk about what our level is. We have players way higher than this. Obviously, like you've seen Isaac go into the conference. Akira's currently in the conference, isn't he? Yeah. Not sure what the situation with him was, getting a permanent deal or not, but he's at a conference side. Yeah. We moved 9 players on in the summer into pro or semi-pro contracts. Yeah. We struggled, I think, last season with a little bit of individualism. COVID didn't help us. Training wasn't perfect. And we obviously suffered on account of everybody in our league was watching us and could see what was coming and this, that and the other. So results-wise, I wasn't as happy as we could have been. I think we both discussed that we probably could have won the league. I think the way we were going, momentum was with us towards the end. And I think this season we look quite strong for it. I'll not make a prediction of us winning anything. I just want to take it one game at a time and hope that I'm happy with each performance as it goes. Last week I was very happy. And we've started to recruit some serious players. When people talk about what level we are, I think our true level is probably 4 or 5 divisions higher. It's probably bottom half of the pyramid, I would say. Level 9, you say that? Level 10.
Did you say that? What would 4 or 5 levels above be?
Probably the league below Rami.
Do you think so?
I'm not saying top of that league.
I don't know.
Because I know you guys are at the top of your league currently.
It fluctuates though, I think. Whereas like, even in North West counties, you'll have some teams that are like probably Northern Prem level.
Well, we had people...
then you'll have some teams in North West counties that are probably a lot lower on the spectrum. So it varies a little bit because one lad that played against us for Mello in the midfield, who ran it, the game, the left foot, I don't know if you remember if you watched it.
Yeah, Dieter, I think he was called.
He's absolutely quality. He plays for ABA in the North West counties and don't get off the bench.
Right.
So that tells you the level. And apparently
sometimes it's if you face fits as well, because we had players that were not even close to being first choice in a position for us this season, have gone into North West counties and started.
Okay.
And we've had a player go from our reserves. Like, I've never even seen him in our training because I'd never even was on my radar. He's gone to North West counties and he's starting. So you're like, okay, I think we could easily be a North West counties Div 1 or Prem team and survive.
Is that like Ducky?
Yeah, a level above that.
Level above Ducky. And
however, Ducky should be a North West counties team. They just don't have the facilities. So they're another one that if you put them in North West counties, they're not coming bottom of that. They're going to be fucking right in that top third. Denton would be similar,
Don't know.
I think we do better than... we lost to both of those 4-0 coincidentally. But we weren't at full strength for either.
I think Northern Prem step from the jump to Northern Prem for what I saw last night from the likes North West counties is the hugest. Who
did you play?
Colney.
See, I think they got a bit of money behind them. Because didn't you say like Chris Kirkland was there?
They had Chris Kirkland on the bench. They had Ryan Taylor, that played for Newcastle, on the bench. They had a few lads that I remember. They had one Tunde that was at United and Burnley for a bit. He was Burnley all the way until he was like 19. He even had
what's it called?
Tunde.
Tunde what?
I can't remember his surname. He didn't start for them. He came on second half.
He was striker?
Nah, he played like right back, wing. He's quick. No, he was like, when I'm saying you're like being like early years.
Okay.
But I was like, I was watching the football from the side and I was thinking, this is something serious. See, I did get 3 minutes, so I can kind of got blooded in. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I proper enjoyed it. It was a great experience. I was happy to get the opportunity.
Oh, so before we went live, and I said save this, let's talk about it now. Yeah. So last season, obviously, we had Drosden. Yeah. I still don't know that we not 100% got it this season. Yeah. I'm still trying to speak with Drosden and make it happen. The place actually got trashed last week, which is sad to see. But we ended up with about 300 there for one game, the final game that we played. Yeah. We played 3 weekends back to back there, and it was sick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It felt mega. We were starting to build a bit of a crowd, and even though those stadiums are small, and there's 76,000 in Old Trafford. Yes, of course it's insane.
Yeah.
But the noise that 300 people make when a goal goes in, pretty significant as well.
It is.
Bizarrely.
Because I think there's around 300 or so, probably a little. It felt like more.
I think there's about 368.
Yeah, at the Rasmbottom game last night, and the atmosphere was great. The Rasmbottom fans are great as well. So I knew it was.
Someone tried to get a Viva Ronaldo goal.
Yeah, I knew it was a goal club and that, but I was kind of blown away by just the whole occasion a little bit. It was good.
I'm looking forward to coming down and getting a game, but at the moment, you're playing Tuesdays when we train and Saturdays when we play. So until we've had a weekend called off, I'm not going to be able to come do that.
No, we'll have to see though. But the games do come thick and fast. Obviously, there's one on Saturday and then there's one on Tuesday as well. The games
Saturday, Tuesday's pretty brutal.
Yeah, they're relentless. But it's good. It's good
they cram them in at the start of the season because they lose a lot of games over Christmas with pitches.
Yeah, but I've apparently heard that a lot of the games actually get called
off. They'll go down to just Saturdays. December and January because they know that they'll struggle even to get those on.
Yeah.
So they try and go Saturday, Tuesday, just go through the season.
Yeah.
So you played like 12 games by the end of like September.
I'm guessing during the end of the season, when you're talking about March, April, May.
Ramp up again.
It's Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah, because you'll hopefully have some cup competitions that you'll be in. Rami might not be in it, but like the Manchester clubs, because Rami's like Berryway in it, really.
Yeah.
So Manchester teams, you'll have the Manchester Cups, the non-league ones. So I think all of the non-league clubs, like FC United, Stockport, Abbey Ave and Trafford, I think they're all in the Manchester Senior Cup, or one of the Manchester FA Cup or something like that. Yeah. And then you'll have things like the Vase, or you'll have the Vase or the trophy, depending on which level you are. I don't know where the cut-off is for the trophy. So one's for like half of non-league, the one's for the other half of non-league. I think the trophy's Conference North and South, maybe even Northern Prem.
I think we, if I remember correctly from Barker's, I don't think we can do FA bars. I think we're the
trophy.
I think we're the level too high.
Yeah, it must be the FA trophy then.
With Warrington Royals or whatever. I think they were the ones that won last year.
Oh, Ryland?
Warrington Rylands, is it?
Yeah, that's Rooney's something to do with them. Or Rooney's agent's something to do with them.
I think the striker that scored a hat-trick in that game or something along those lines, I think he's gone like 5 steps up off it. He's got himself a little big move.
But it's Wembley, innit? So Parker played in that. Parker played in the Vase for Glossop. I remember that, I saw him. They just won the treble, won the league, won the cup, whichever cup that was, and then was going to Wembley for the Vase. I think he's won one and lost one there. Because one of my other mates, Whelan, was in the same team as him. I knew quite a lot of lads that was in that team. Yeah, mad. That's the good thing about non-league, is that it's such a deep, like you've got the 92, haven't you? And it's a linear one up, one down league. And then as soon as you come down from the conference, obviously you've got Conference North and then you've got Conference South, and then it just multiplies at every level. So hundreds of teams. Hundreds. And what's mad is, in our area, some of them are fucking ridiculously good as well, at a very, very low level. I think some of the northeast ones, it gets a bit thin. Like Paddock would go and fucking tater some Step 8 teams in different areas and get murdered by a Step 8 team.
What step are we?
Oh, sorry, level 8. Level 8.
So what level is Paddock? 13?
Paddock are level 13.
Okay.
Which is Step 8, I think, actually.
Okay.
Rami are Step 4, which is level 8, I think.
Okay.
So we'd get murdered, probably, by half the teams in your league. Probably compete with a few and beat a couple.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'd say all of them.
Do you reckon all of them? There'll be some whooping boys in your league.
I'm not going to sugarcoat. From what I saw yesterday...
Yeah, but again, you were a team at the top of the league and you played a team at the top of the league.
The team we played has won 1 out of 4. And they're not
going to be at the bottom now.
It made no sense because... I was looking at that, and even
Colner are a big side. They're probably just in poor form or whatever.
They had great players to me, good team. But
you know, half of our team last year came from Dresden, who'd been at this level, and half of them guys won't start for us.
I don't know, because
that's what I'm saying.
I would have had some of your premises in my head. I knew it was a step up, but I actually think now, seeing the players and whatever and the games, it's actually a bigger step than I actually thought it was, and I thought it was a big step anyway. So I'm not like, I know you know it, but I don't think, respectfully, that Paddock could win a game in the Northern Prem.
Northern Prem we would very much struggle. But what the point I was making is the Manchester region, that northwest region, is so stacked. Like Ducky would probably go to a step 3 or 4 in either like in the southeast or in the northeast or maybe the southwest for definite, and not lose a game.
Yeah.
Like, because the Manchester area is so utterly stacked. Like, look at some of the players we've got at the level we are, and look at some of the people we play against in our leagues. Should not be this good at this level. It's supposed to be a fancy Sunday league at this level. It's not. It's a bit up from that, isn't it?
Yeah, because I've always. The same way of what I've said about Northern Prem, even coming to this league, some of the teams we played, you do see some really decent players and some decent teams, but then again, you see on the other spectrum, you see some teams that are complete opposite.
Do you know what it is, I think, in our league? There is a standard of player in every team, right? And it's a good standard of player. But the disparity between their best player and their worst player is vast. Okay. Some of the guys filling in at left back or right back.
And in a team, I think that's a large part of it. You're talking about individuals or whatever. I'm talking teams, because in football, there's many teams, but you're only as strong really as your weakest link anyway.
100%.
when you're
that's the difference.
When you're looking at a team in the Northern Prem game and looking at the game yesterday, there's no weak links anywhere on the pitch.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like a.
At our level, the distance might be from the best player to the worst player. This.
Yeah.
In Northern Prem, it might be this.
It's literally just like that. Everyone's good, and then you have a couple of two like quality, and then one that's like amazing, and that's what keeps the standard, and that's so high, and that can make all the difference, especially not switching off. But that was quite impressive. You need to come down and support, don't you?
Well, I can. When we've got a free weekend, I'll be down. That's the problem. Is that we're literally doing the same thing. So when I'm training, you're training or playing. When we're playing, you're playing. So unless you end up with like a Wednesday nighter or something like that, then I've got no hope. But, you know, just Nosa now to make his debut. And Parker as well, actually, because he said he's signing and playing, doesn't he?
I think he's signing the cover.
He did say he still wants to play a little bit, but we'll see. Be interesting to see if he's got the wheels still.
Yes.
Righty, I'm going to wrap it up there anyway, but cheers for tuning in. Get us your thoughts ahead of the weekend. Obviously, we've not even talked about it, but I'll be covering it in my preview anyway, talking about what's going to be happening with United and Newcastle this weekend. It's going to be sick. But looks like there's no Fred. Make it that way you will. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.